Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to my channel, my dear sisters. In today's video, I will be talking about akhlaq and nafs, these two things. I'm going to explain what these things are and how to avoid them. And yes, let's get it. Akhlaq is mannerisms, and a good attitude is the characteristics of the best of the messengers and is the best actions of the righteous. It is no doubt half of religion, the fruit of the efforts of the pious, and bad characteristics are lethal poison and lead to shameful consequences. Akhlaq is one of the qualities of a believer. Our akhlaq in all stages of life should be in accordance with the akhlaq of the Prophet ﷺ. But today, instead of speaking to one another in a polite and beautiful manner, we choose a harsh, aggressive tone. Instead of bringing a person closer to Islam, we instead, by using such aggressive tones, which draw them further away from us, further away from the deen, which was not the manner of the Prophet ﷺ. Prophet ﷺ said, I have only been sent to perfect good characteristics. Allah Jalla wa Ala said, it is out of Allah's mercy that you have been lenient with them. Had you been cruel or hard-hearted, they would have certainly abandoned you. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was asked about that which will admit most people to paradise. He sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, fear of Allah and a good attitude. Abdullah bin Amr radiallahu anh has narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam was neither immodest nor did he use obscene language. He used to say, the best among you are those who have the best manners. Akhlaq holds a very important role in the life of a Muslim. Our akhlaq should always be in accordance with that of Prophet ﷺ and his companions, the Sahaba. How do we attain good akhlaq? Many people are unaware of their faults and shortcomings. You could see your sister's mistakes but not your own. So if you want to know what your own faults are, you can do four things. Sit before a person of knowledge who has insight into people's faults and learn from this person knowledge, good attitude, and manners. You can ask a sincere friend who is religiously committed to keep a watch over you so that she can draw attention to whatever she dislikes of your attitude, actions, and inward and outward faults. Umar radiallahu anh used to say, may Allah have mercy on a man who shows me my shortcomings. We should also keep in mind that whenever a friend or family members tells you your shortcomings or your mistakes, don't get mad at them. Instead, thank them for telling your mistakes so you can better yourself. Don't ever think that a person who tells you your mistakes and gives you advice for it is a bad person. Remember, not every friend is an advisor. However, every advisor is a friend. And know that if a friend never tells you your mistakes nor gives nasiha and instead flatters you by praising you and conceals your faults, is not a real friend. Everything that you see as blameworthy among people, you should guard against in your own self. It was said to Isa alayhi salam, who taught you? He said, no one taught me. I saw the ignorance of the ignorant as something bad, so I avoided it. And there is a book called Adab al-Mufrad, Prophetic Morals and Etiquettes, collected by Imam al-Bukhari. It is very, very good. It's a little bit thick, but this, once you start it, you cannot stop. Ignore the notes, please. I'm going to put the picture from the back, inshallah, so you can read it. It's not only about the Prophet ﷺ, it also talks about the characteristics, companions, the Sahaba. The most thing I liked about this book is that there is an explanation of hadith. I just love talking about books. I don't know if you can see it, but they are here. The commentary of the ulama. They explain what the hadith means, the exceptions, etc. Just get it, inshallah. Now let's talk about nafs. It could mean soul, the psyche, the ego, self, life, person, heart, or mind. There is agreement among ulama that in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described at least three main types of the nafs. These are in rank from the worst to better. Nafs al-amara bis-su', nafs al-lawama, nafs al-mutma'inna. the nafs that urges evil, the nafs that blames, the nafs at peace. There are two kinds of people. One are those whose nafs have overcome them and led them to ruin because they yielded to them and obeyed their impulses. The other kinds are those who have overcome their nafs and made them obey their commands. Some of the states of the nafs are given by Imam al-Tabari in his tafsir of Surah Yusuf verse 53, Al-Amara bis-Su', the soul which commands. This is the nafs that brings punishment itself. By its every nature, it directs its owner towards every wrong action. No one can get rid of its evil without the help from Allah Azza wa Jal. As Allah refers to this nafs in the story of the wife of Al-Aziz and the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. إِنَّ النَّفْسُ الْأَمَّارَ بِالسُّوءِ, for indeed the soul is ever inclined to evil. Allah Azza wa Jal also says, وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ وَمَا زَكَى مِنْكُمْ مَنْ أَحَدٍ أَبَدًا وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يُزَكَّى مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَاللَّهُ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. And had it not been for the grace of Allah and His mercy on you, no one of you would ever have been pure. But Allah purifies whomever He wishes, and Allah is hearing and knowing. So if Allah were to leave us alone with ourselves, we would have been destroyed between its evil and the evil that it craves. But if Allah grants us success and help, then we will survive. Number 2, Nafs al-Lawwama. Allah refers to this nafs, وَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالنَّفْسِ اللَّوَّامَةِ, and I do call to witness with the nafs that blames. This nafs is conscious of its own imperfections. Hassan al-Basri said, you always see the believer blaming himself and saying things like, did I want this? Why did I do that? Was this better than that? Number 3, Nafs al-Mutma'inna, the soul at peace. Allah Azza wa Jal refers to this nafs, Ya ayyuhan nafsul mutma'inna, O tranquil soul. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh said, it is the tranquil and believing soul. Al-Qatada said, it is the soul of the believer made calm by what Allah has promised. Its owner is at rest and content with his knowledge of Allah's names and attributes, and with what He has said about Himself and His Messenger, and with what He has said about what awaits the soul after death, about the departure of the soul, the life in the barzakh, and the events of the day of Qiyamah, which will follow. So much so that a believer such as this can almost see them with his own eyes. So he submits to the will of Allah and surrenders to Him contentedly, never dissatisfied or complaining, and with his faith never wavering. He does not rejoice at his gains, nor do his afflictions make him despair, for he knows that they were decreed long before they happened to him, even before he was created. And Imam al-Baghawi says, the Nafs al-Mutma'inna has an angel to help it, who assists and guides it. The angel casts good into the nafs so that it desires what is good and is aware of the excellence of good actions. The angel also keeps the self away from wrong action and shows it the ugliness of bad deeds. All in all, whatever is for Allah and by Him always comes from the soul which is at peace. And Nafs al-Amara bis-Su' has shaitan as its ally. He promises it great rewards and gains, but casts falsehood into it. He invites it and entices the soul to do evil. He leads it on with hope after hope, presents falsehood to the soul in a form that it will accept and admire. Ibn al-Qayyim also mentioned the states of nafs. He said the nafs is a single entity, although its state may change from the nafs al-ammara to the nafs al-lawwama to the nafs al-mutma'inna, which is the final aim of perfection. It has been said that the nafs al-lawwama is the one which cannot rest in any one state. It often changes, remembers and forgets, submits and evades, loves and hates, rejoices and becomes sad, accepts and rejects, obeys and rebels. Lawwama is also the nafs of the believer. It has also been mentioned that the nafs blames itself on the day of Qiyamah, for everyone blames himself for his actions, either his bad deeds, if he has one who had many wrong actions, or for his shortcomings, if he has one who did good deeds. All of this is accurate. These were the things what the scholars say about the nafs. Now, how do I control my nafs? There are 5 points how to control your nafs. Constant purification. Increase in your worship acts and strive for the obedience of Allah Jalla wa Ala at all times. Follow His guidance through the teachings of the Quran and Hadith. You should prioritize with the compulsory acts such as 5 daily prayers, even as you try to pick up the sunnah ones. 2. Conscious awareness. Your nafs is conscious. As such, you have control over decisions you make that will impact your daily life and the hereafter. Therefore, be conscious of Allah at all times and make a choice to break free from the negative desires and inclinations. Number 3. Avoid sins and prohibitions. Always follow an evil thought, speech, or act with a good one. If your nafs is telling you to do something you know that it's haram, then do the opposite. Inshallah, you can achieve this through learning and seeking beneficial knowledge. And that way you can see the truth from falsehood and permissible acts from prohibitions. Number 4. Use your time wisely. Assess your time and accompanying deeds and try to keep positively busy with regarding acts. Once you know that you have a free time, for example, you're done with school, work, etc., or if you're a housewife, you're done with your house chores, get the books open and study. If you don't have a book, there are also lessons, online lessons from the scholars. Just do good deeds. Listen to some lectures. These will help you, inshallah. Number 5, keep good company. Mind your environment and those you choose to stay around. Choose the one who can help you guard your deen. That was it, my ikhwat. Inshallah you liked it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.